and welcome to season 4, episode 2 of Girl You Know What, the podcast. I am your host, Tahir.
And I'm Keisha.
And as I said, this is episode 2, season 4, so we are keeping it moving. So, how was your week?
Chaotic as we are here on a Monday.
Yeah. You know, and I
We're,
mean, life
we're
happens.
supposed to be here on a Saturday, and we're here on a Monday. So
Now, you say a lot of things that I just, incorporate in my everyday vocabulary, little sayings and stuff that you do. But one of the ones that I always say is life is lifing.
life be life.
Yeah,
But,
life be lifing, and it does.
I mean, and this because the older we get, roles change,
Yeah.
responsibilities change, how we take care of our family members, just things change.
Yeah.
My responsibilities have changed, and life be life.
Right. Yeah.
You
At the blink of an eye,
know.
stuff just changes.
And happy birthday, Dr. King.
Yes.
Well, it's not your actual birthday today, is
Right.
it?
But today we celebrate it.
It's
but
birthday on the 19th.
I think it's the 15th.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh,
so it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Dr. King, and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everyone, and just yeah. So and then go ahead.
What'd you say?
About
Bernice said, "Don't forget about her mama."
Yeah. On her I still call Instagram Twitter. I don't know why, because I don't even use Twitter anymore. But on her Instagram page, I was just going through it this morning, and she had like a bunch of posts of like her and her siblings. And then this one post she posted, it was so cute. She said, "Now I can see you in color, Daddy." And I thought about that. It was a whole bunch of pictures of her dad and in the family, her and her siblings and mom in color. Because you think about it, like we've only seen pictures of them really in black and white.
Yeah, because I think those pictures I shared, maybe I think for the past 2 or 3 Black History Month and for Martin Luther King Day, I always share the color pictures now.
Yeah, and I never thought about that till she said that, and I was like, wow.
I said, "Oh, Martin, I see why the hoes was going crazy."
Listen,
Cause you was cute, huh?
little cutie, little short,
cute
cute thing, and
baby little. Why
yeah.
do you Baptist preachers be so short?
Right,
Why y'all so small
and got all that voice
and be so tiny? Why is y'all so little? I mean, for real.
Okay,
The popular preachers, they all little.
all little, yeah.
Martin Sapp, I love him. He's so small.
Right.
Jamal Bryant, little
guy.
McKissick, little. Why they so short?
I don't know. That's a guy I never thought about. See, he's just
Dr.
like
King,
Dr.
short.
King, listen.
And him, and then all the rest of them had to be short. Abernathy,
Right.
because I don't think him and Abernathy was standing shoulder to shoulder.
Probably not.
They was the same height, I think.
Oh, were they?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure, because
Y'all was all marching together.
And then the ones that were probably taller seemed like they were like a little step back.
Abernathy might have been an inch taller. His shoulder might have been an inch taller.
Yeah, they were about. Yeah, they were standing. You're right. Yeah, they were about standing at the same.
about-
I got the picture in my. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It was like shoulder to shoulder.
yeah. But Bernice, she also said, don't forget about her mother. Don't forget about
I know
Coretta
that's
Scott-King, because if it wasn't for her,
Honey.
standing by her man all these times, dealing with all that
Coretta
stuff.
endured.
Listen, and she's the one that fought for the King holiday to become a
Yes,
national
she did.
holiday. So
She did.
yeah. Hello, Arizona. But anyway,
Oh Lord, what happened in Arizona?
oh, you didn't. They were like the last state to actually they fought it. They fought it for years for it to
Who
become
knew
a national
Arizona
holiday.
was that racist?
I mean,
Well, I think that's where all the Caucasians go to retire.
yeah, that's where. Yeah,
They don't really go to Florida that much anymore.
yeah.
They
Well,
like
this was a
Arizona
while ago.
because they
though.
say Arizona's a dry heat, though, right?
Yeah, they're dry heat. Yeah, so
It's not
that
like
different
humid
type.
like Florida.
Right.
So if you have like a breathing condition or something like that, it's probably better that you go to Arizona
Right. Yeah.
to retire.
Yeah, and if you just don't want to be in any fuck shit around Florida, yeah. I mean, not saying
And
that Arizona's any
while we're
better, but
talking about the weather,
uh-huh.
and this is like completely off what we said we're going to talk about today, but I have to say something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably to you Democrats. I have to say something to y'all that
Get them.
frustrates
Get
me.
them too. Get them.
I, I, The fact that you guys really sit and talk about climate control and climate change so much,
Mm,
and I am not racist by far, you know that.
right.
But why are the same people who are talking about climate awareness and climate control the same people who are pro immigration? Now,
Mm,
I'm not saying that you don't let people immigrate.
right.
Do y'all see El Paso, Texas? Like, how are you? Is anybody watching the news anymore?
That's a good question because I truly don't. I just get updates and stuff. So that's a good question. I wonder if people are actually watching the news still.
Because the people, they are letting people cross the border in
Oh
droves.
yeah.
And they are just sleeping in the streets in Paso, Texas.
I
And the
mean,
first time I saw it, I told Ronnie, I said, I feel bad for those people who live in Texas. Like, could you imagine? Imagine just going out your door
listen.
and just driving by the Easton and all you see is people. Just imagine going to the Easton.
Yeah.
All you see is people just intense.
Mhm.
People covering the sidewalks to the point where you can barely get by.
That's crazy.
Porta potties set up on the sidewalks for people to be able to use the bathroom. Like, imagine that being your life.
I
And we
mean,
look at those people who live there and we judge them like, oh, y'all should have a better heart and let people come in and allow people this and that. Y'all, imagine if it was you.
right.
And again, how do you speak about climate control or climate awareness, climate change, but then you say, oh no, just let everybody in?
Mm,
Are y'all stupid? Do you know how much land you have?
right.
Do you see before this started happening the people who are already on the streets in LA?
Yeah.
Just because you don't see homeless people when you step out your door, they do still exist.
Mhm.
We haven't found a way to keep our homeless population in order.
Right.
So we're creating more homeless people. The more people you bring, the more warm this air gets.
Mhm. And I'm wondering too when it's going to be a problem here because like every corner that you go on, it doesn't matter where you're at in this dang city, there are people on one corner here begging with a sign, another corner here. I mean, they're all over. And you didn't
And
see
then you
that
watch
before.
your rent get higher.
Exactly.
And then the houses that are abandoned,
They're,
instead of doing something or allocating funds to correct that,
yeah,
they're just tearing them down.
exactly. To make room for expensive apartments. That's all they doing.
So we're still increasing homelessness.
Yeah. And I said
Like,
that, girl, I said that a long time ago. I was like, all these empty school buildings, all these, just empty buildings, period.
mhm.
Why can't they just be changed into shelters? That's the right thing to do. It's not going to
It's
cost them
like
any money. Y'all are all about taxes and everything. Y'all can write that shit off.
you're already funneling
I
cash
mean,
for other projects. I mean, because let's do basic math.
hmm
This this shit will make you think all y'all in cahoots, honestly. And I'm a person who hates to talk about conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like,
but
I don't really
sometimes
get
it
into
makes, I'm
that
the
kind of
same way,
stuff.
but sometimes it makes you think.
But let's just think. You're telling me that a man who paid 750 in taxes, 750 in taxes, paid one something million, 1 point something $1 million in taxes.
Hmm
Zero. And then the following year, he got, and when I say 750, I mean
That's
$750,
it.
not 750,000. I want to
Hmm
be clear about that.
hmm
And then you gave him damn near a $6 million refund.
How?
So what you're telling me is that nobody, so when you give a refund that large,
Hmm
there's not a single person who goes back and says, let's look at the last 10 years of this person's taxes.
Right.
Let's look at, did we owe them? Let's
hmm
recheck the last 10 years.
Right.
How in the world could he be eligible for a refund?
You would think that
A
that would put
refund
on
would
some
determine
kind.
that you overpaid something.
Exactly. And what the hell's he overpaying?
I mean,
I mean, the
but we don't
questions.
got no money for, like you said, to open up homeless shelters.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get those people off the street, though.
Yeah. I
And I'm
mean,
not even talking about, and God forgive me, because I'm probably not even talking about get them off the street for their health, their dignity.
mm-hmm.
Get them off the street because it's a bad look.
Exactly.
It looks terrible.
It does.
It looks terrible. And then I have to really, that's going to be my commitment to myself today, is
Mm-hmm.
to really look into immigration laws.
Uh-huh.
What is the immigration policy for this country? Because the fact that it is illegal for you to come here without some sort of pass, without, filling out a visa, without whatever the process is, it's illegal for you
Mm-hmm.
to do it. Why in God's name do y'all just guide them up into the fence? I don't understand that. And it probably sounds harsh, but I'm gonna say it again. If we keep this up and keep letting people in here and the air keep getting warmer and warmer and the water keep getting warmer,
Mm-hmm.
California gonna cease to exist in about 10 or 15
Oh
years.
yeah, because they already on their last leg. I mean, let's keep it real. All the stuff
I
that's
mean,
going
that
on
water
there.
is eroding the country
Mm-hmm.
away.
Mm-hmm.
The water is just getting warmer and warmer.
But
I told my mother yesterday, look, at this point, we're gonna need to go to Africa.
something.
We need to go back to Africa.
Because they don't give a dang about this country anymore. They're just trying to hold on to power. They don't care
What did I
who it
tell
affects or
you? We
whatever.
talked about this. It's about profit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they have the worst system because they don't, you need workers, you need bodies to make money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even care about the bodies that they need to make the money.
No.
They're so greedy, they're blind.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
It's crazy.
oh Lord.
Listen.
Dr. King, what are we supposed to do?
Listen. I mean, we need a sign or something. We need.
Because these people right here, these ain't the people.
No, this ain't the move right here.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
These ain't the people you fought for this move.
No. Mm-mm.
Even because that does go along with what we talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
Because we said we were going to talk about black men, black women, the
Mm-hmm.
situation with Meg. And I think we are two good people to give an opinion on this
Mm-hmm.
because I don't give a shit either way.
Right.
And you probably have way more information about it.
Mm-hmm.
You probably are more, knowledgeable about the way that the case went.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Lord is working on me. I want to say this because at the first lie, I was turned away. I don't really stand on my soapbox for motherfuckers who lie,
Right.
and she damn sure lied. I understand that everybody, I understand how women are today.
Mm-hmm.
That women want to stand up for women, even if they lie, no matter what. That's cool if that's what your bag is. It ain't mine, but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's weird to me because we're like, oh, well, men been doing this shit for years. Men been doing this, men been doing that. So instead of us doing stuff the right way, we just gonna follow behind what they were doing. So now we the new niggas. That's what you're saying?
I mean, that's what it looks like.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
It don't look like we setting a new order and we're doing things with dignity and pride and class, and we're kind of like showing like this is the way that you're supposed to deal with people or treat people. No, you're just pissed because men do shit and get away with it, and now you want to
Now
do the
you.
exact same thing that men do.
Well, let me ask you this because so I heard I was watching. I can't remember who it was, and I hate when I forget who it is because I do like to shout out people. But it was a
Mhm.
YouTuber who I watch all the time, and I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, but they were talking about this. This is like when the case was
Mhm.
going on. And that was something. Then it was, of course, going into the Young Miami and Diddy thing and everything like this, and how
Right.
women are kind of like stepping up, like like niggas, like you said.
Mhm.
So it's just like, do you think that it's just, of course, it's a generational thing. I mean, we have some people who are our age and older who had that mentality too, but that's just because they never grew up.
Right.
But with this new generation, do you think it's because they have been treated a certain way by men who made it seem like it was okay for you to be treated this way because that's how they view you. Even before they know you, they're going to look at you this way. But then I had to step back and I was like, but there are some women who put themselves out there. So how are these men going to respect them?
Me and my mother just had this conversation
Mm-hmm.
Saturday about how it's so weird that women want to be respected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know that women are never going to be comfortable. Well, let me take that back. I think women are going to be comfortable with this because there was a time when we had two groups of women, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let's say three. You had the women who carried themselves with class,
Mm-hmm.
who, looked classy when they came outside. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who told y'all that not having on clothes, like, or who told y'all that having on clothes was not sexy. Somebody mix and screwed that message to y'all.
Listen.
But there are very attractive women who still go outside with business suits on,
Mm-hmm.
who could put on a turtleneck and jeans, and if you got it, you got it,
And be killing the game.
and killing the game. So there were that group. There were those group of women who
Mm-hmm.
were classy, put together, probably worked, a 9 to 5 job, but they was about their business.
Right.
Then it was the hoes. The hoes was what we see today. Naked,
Yeah.
them body suits, because now them women used to wear them cat suits back in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
You know,
But it was usually for a reason. It wasn't just out like, hey,
yeah,
we're going to the store and we just going to wear this.
yeah. They had a reason they were putting them on, but they was
Right.
putting them on.
Yeah.
So, then it was the hoes.
Mm-hmm.
And the hoes knew I'm putting this on because I want you to know that you can get this ass. Like
Exactly.
it was well stated. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is about. And then it was like the hood girls.
Mm-hmm.
The hood girls might be hoes, and they might just be hood. They might
Yeah.
just be, I grew up in the projects and I'm with the shits.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try me. We had three groups of women, and
Right.
we coexisted just fine.
Exactly. That was the
Everything was
thing.
everything was good.
Mm-hmm. You have friends in all categories.
Listen, all categories.
Mm-hmm.
Loved them just the same.
Exactly.
And now y'all and I'm gonna stand on this motherfucking hill and die. Y'all let a fucking whore, Amber Rose, I'm gonna say her name.
Please do.
Y'all let her come in here and tell y'all that you should be respected for being a whore.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, it'll never happen.
Never.
And y'all gonna keep fighting that. And I say, by all means, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what these men have proved to us is they gonna treat y'all just like they treat us.
Right.
Just like they treat the girls who cover up, they gonna treat y'all. So what y'all have said to yourselves is, so now you ladies who used to dress nice and be classy, well, I get cheated on too, like the rest of the women. And look, he ain't gonna do nothing but go be with a hoe. So I might as well do what I want to do. So why you want to be naked?
Exactly. It don't make
So
no
that's
sense.
what you want to do. Like that's your do what I want to do.
Mm, I don't
I'm
get
gonna
it.
tell y'all keep coming out here presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and baby, he gonna sacrifice it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna promise you that, cause I got a lot of male friends, a
Mm-hmm.
lot,
Right.
and I'm gonna just tell y'all, they don't want to marry y'all. Now
No.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, and if he does marry you, or if he does date you, and I want you to know, this ain't from the mouth of a woman. I'm talking about, I got friends that's niggas.
Mm-hmm.
If he do decide to be with you, you gonna have to perform whole activities
Listen, because that's
for
all
that
he.
whole relationship.
Yeah, because that's what he thinks that's all you good for.
And the moment you don't, and the moment he gets tired of it, because it might last 2 years, and then he gonna find somebody else.
Mm-hmm. You gonna become old news girl
Yeah.
real
I'm
quick.
just telling you straight from the mouth of a man. Like, I'm
Listen.
not.
Yeah,
telling you something I make up.
right, because we can give you the, the opinion of women all day,
Yeah.
but when it's coming from a man, we won't tell you that it's coming from a man, and this is how they feel.
And I have male friends of all ages,
Mm-hmm.
like not just the same age as me. Like
Right.
I'm telling y'all, they don't want
Mm-hmm.
that.
No, they don't want
They
it.
don't want that loud.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that.
And and the truth of the matter is, it's more rampant now. But they didn't want that before. They didn't want the hoes before. They just wanted them just to hang out
No.
with. And then they would tell you too. They would be like, "Oh, that's just a girl I'm messing around with, but that's not who I'm going to. I wouldn't marry nobody like that." Now,
Even if he had a wife
mm-hmm,
and he was cheating
mm-hmm,
on his wife, see, now, and I just have to tell my male friends this, and I want every man across America to hear this, and I'm gonna make this a clip. I especially want to say it to my pastor friends.
mm-hmm.
Y'all gotta stop fucking with these hoes because these hoes ain't the old
No,
hoes.
listen, it's a
They
new
live to
breed.
expose you.
There was a code back in the day.
Back in the day, you could have a wife and you
Mm-hmm.
could have a chick who you went over her house. She made you a plate, fixed you a drink. Y'all did the do, and you got up and you
That
left.
was it.
She respected the game
Mm-hmm.
because she had you and probably another little dude who actually took her out on dates. It was
Right.
another man somewhere who was dating
Oh
her.
yeah, you weren't the only one, bro. Just know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you was the only one, she still respected her role.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was probably in love with you. And if we want the truth to be told, you might have loved her a little bit too. But
Right.
you didn't love her enough to leave your wife.
Right.
It's ironic that we're talking about this on Dr. King's birthday.
I mean, but it's life, and I mean,
I'm just saying.
I
Because
mean,
Dr. King was,
he was a little something too. Let's not
I
sugarcoat it.
will never forget the day. Because again, back then, you could get away with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the day when they did an interview with his girlfriend, like
Ciao.
from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, like Dr. King. And she said it. She said, I just knew that we was gonna get caught.
Mm-hmm.
She said, because wherever he was, they would come, they would fly me to where he was at.
Mm.
And we would meet, wherever, whatever city he was in.
Ciao. Listen, before social media, honey.
Before
Before
social
camera
media, I'm gonna tell
phones.
you who the biggest TMZ was back then was J Edgar Hoover.
Oh,
J Edgar Hoover was Harvey back in the
I
day.
mean, he was on it with his little
Hoover
zesty self.
was
He
a
was
piece
a
of work,
child.
little
Listen,
zest master.
listen, wearing women's drawers and stuff for the men's
Listen,
and
and
things.
recording people's nasty conversation.
Listen, J. Edgar Hoover was a mess. Y'all need to. I know, like a lot of y'all may not be into history and stuff like that, and you may have heard things about J. Edgar Hoover and everything, but do your Googles on J. Edgar Hoover. He was a mess
A mess.
in so many ways, but he really transformed. I have to give this to him. He transformed the way that investigations and crime, and because there was no FBI before him, really.
No, it was just him, right? Like
Yeah, it was just him, and he didn't have the
that.
manpower to, you know, when crime was elevating and stuff like that, he wasn't able to keep up with it like around, the 30s and the 40s when, you had
I
like
got to really look into that.
yeah,
I'm gonna watch his movie.
look, because it was like really, I mean, I still don't like him. I still think he was an
I don't know.
asshole. I still think he was a racist piece of shit. I still
He
all that
was. He
stuff,
was all of those things.
He was
It
in
was.
the
He
closet
was
home.
all of those things, and I don't like what he did to the King family.
Right,
Like
yeah.
he
So I mean, he
he
did a
destroyed.
yeah, and Malcolm X, and so
Yeah.
he had for sure targets, but I will
Mhm.
say this about him, he did transform something that was needed at that time. Now he
Yeah, I'm gonna have
used
to
his
look into
power.
it.
Yeah, now he didn't use his power for good all the time.
No, he did not. He did
Yeah.
not.
And I would say majority of the time, not all the time, majority of the time.
No,
He definitely
because what
abused
he
his
did, and
power.
particularly my issue with him is what he did to Coretta.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an issue with Dr. King,
Mhm.
that's
That's one
fine.
thing, but leave the women out of it. That was just
But for you to
oh,
gather those tapes and
child.
mail those tapes
But that's an evil,
to their
vindictive queen, though.
house.
That's what evil queens have always been evil and vindictive.
Yes,
So
like for you to do that. And
yeah.
it really made like the first time I heard anybody talk about it, it was Harry Belafonte.
See,
And it really made me cry a little bit
it was horrible. Yeah,
because
but look into
he
that,
said
y'all. Oh my
Harry
god.
Belafonte said that he could see
Mm-hmm.
um that like from that day forward, she was never the same.
Oh, how could you be?
I mean, after you hear that, because
She
he
probably
was
heard
bugging,
rumblings.
he was bugging Martin's hotel rooms. He was bugging
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King's hotel rooms.
Yeah, and she probably
And,
knew
and he,
something was going on. Women aren't stupid. Man, y'all can think women are stupid. We're not stupid. You
but I
know.
think, nobody wants their suspicions confirmed.
Exact. That's what I was just getting ready to say.
And,
Yeah. And
to
to actually
actually
hear,
hear it.
shh, child.
And, and be mindful that I said tapes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not just
I
one.
mean, you
Multiple,
know,
honey.
it's
But
just,
yeah, but
it's
J Edgar Hoover,
unfortunate.
yeah, she was a piece of work. So y'all need to
Yeah.
get into her because ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll just make you look at things a lot different, trust me.
But I don't know, like, if I think it kinda goes hand in hand, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I wish that Black men and Black women understood how much we need each other,
Exactly.
because then when we talk about the FBI and we talk about Black people,
Mm-hmm.
you have to understand that I was thinking about this morning. Everything in this country that is done or geared towards Black people, it is strategic.
Mm-hmm.
It is a system that has been put in place since we came over on the boat.
Right.
It is a system that, they implemented psychological control from the very beginning. And that's where we have the biggest issue as a people
Mm-hmm. I
is
agree.
it's the mind, it's what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the Bible, and I don't mean to be, put my religion off on other people,
Mm-hmm.
but even in the Bible, when it tells you things like, let this mind be in you, which is also in Christ Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of scriptures are geared towards, you know, your mind. As a man thinketh, so is he. It's telling you that once you can control your thoughts, you can control the rest of yourself.
Right.
And that is what the slave master and what white people in this country have been using over us for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle mind control.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about this in commercials.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice in commercials, you rarely see two Black people, a husband and a wife. Even, and you and I have even talked about this, even if it's an LGBT couple,
Mm-hmm.
you rarely see two Black people.
Right.
And I really want Black people to sit and think about that. Don't think about it like, oh, yeah, everything ain't race, everything in, just watch.
Just
Just pay attention
watch.
to what you're looking at every day.
Cause then I like when I sent you a picture of a couple and I said, look, I said, and
Yes,
so and 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 so.
yes,
I said, and
yes.
it's just like, and I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. When Black LGBT people when they're comfortable and they're out and they get to a certain level of fame, money, you do not see them. I'm sorry, you do not see them with another Black
With
person.
another Black person.
Mm-mm.
I mean, and it's the same, that has happened in the Black community with
Period.
heterosexual couples.
Yeah.
You don't see, it's rare. We do
Mm-hmm.
have LeBron and Savannah
Mm-hmm.
and Dwayne and Gabrielle, and I
Denzel
can
and yeah.
name a few, yeah, like Denzel and Viola, and
Mm-hmm.
there are a few like staple couples, but
Yeah.
they're like the seasoned couple. They're
Exactly.
in their, LeBron and Savannah might be the youngest of that
Mm-hmm.
group.
But they've been together since they
Dwayne
were
and
teenagers.
yeah, but they've been together since like freaking high school.
Mm-hmm.
But the older couples, but think about the young couples.
Mm-hmm.
You see Black guys with not Black women.
Girl, remember that picture of the now? everybody, you know me, you know I'm a huge New York Knicks fan, but I sent Keisha
Oh,
a
yes.
picture of it feels like maybe about 4 or 5 of the Knicks players. There were I think there were 5 of them because there were 2 white guys and 3 black guys, I believe. But I'm being specific in that part because every single one of the black guys had a white girl, and
And one black guy had a black girlfriend, didn't he?
no, one of the white guys had a black girlfriend.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then the other white guy had a white girlfriend.
Yep,
But yeah, it was just like the only black girl in the picture was with a white guy.
yep.
And I think he's foreign, if I'm not that that means anything. White is white. I'm sorry, but
Right, but yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
understand what you're saying.
yeah. But it's
You
just
know,
like, I mean,
I
that's just
just
how it
wish
is.
black men and black women could start to appreciate each other.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm in a relationship. I have been in a relationship for 10 years. We are
Mhm.
not married.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm not like ashamed of that or anything because and I like to remove the stigma of that
Right.
because I believe that people think that the man doesn't want to always marry the woman when
Right.
you've been in a relationship that long. I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Not right now. Like I just
Mhm.
I just don't feel I've been married before.
Right.
Um my ex-husband was a minister. I just don't want to get married. I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, I don't know another way to explain it.
And you know
Like I
what?
don't really feel like it needs an explanation.
Right.
I think it just seems like weird to people.
That you've been in a relationship for so long and you don't want to get married.
I mean, I don't feel like it.
Because I think, like,
I
if
don't
people would look at
know.
it, like, even if y'all were together for 2 or 3 years and living together and having the type of relationship that you have and you didn't want to get married, people would probably look at that like that's weird. It's not. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just,
I
you
mean,
know,
you know what I tell him? And he be I be like, look, I'm gonna Oprah and Stedman this shit as long as I can. As
listen,
long as you agree to it, I'm gonna Oprah and Stedman it
listen.
down to the bus
And you
out.
don't have to have Oprah's money to keep a Stedman.
No,
It's just the
I don't
philosophy of it. It
know.
works. It does work for
It
people.
works. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think their relationship, like I don't look at it like, oh, like you said, the money. I look
Mm-hmm.
at it like, let's be clear. Y'all can have all the rumors and thoughts that y'all want to have about Oprah and Stedman, but
Mm-hmm.
they probably got a better commitment than a lot of married people we see.
Listen, and I
Their relationship works for them.
and I'm going to piggyback off that because I said this. I was having a conversation with a friend about this not too long ago. One of the biggest issues, I think, besides biblical things that people have with LGBT marriage equality, things like that, is
Mhm.
because there are so many gay, lesbian couples who have been together and who have had amazing relationships
Mhm.
without marriage for years.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they see that it can work without marriage. So they try
And I
to.
want to be clear too about this
Mm-hmm.
that the relationships and the marriages we see in the Bible are not necessarily the marriages and the contracts that they are today.
Exactly. Girl,
You
that's a whole
know,
nother show for a whole nother day.
we and
Listen.
I know church people, y'all know I'm one of y'all. I love y'all.
And I used to be one of y'all, for
But
most majority of my life.
it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
There was a marriage feast. There was some dowry that was paid. It's more like marriage in the Bible is more like what we see African marriages are today.
Yeah.
When there's a dowry paid, there's like a ceremony, the groom walks over to the bride's house or however they do it. Like they still practice, if you're African and he's African,
Mm-hmm.
they still practice those
Oh
traditions
yeah.
that we see in the Bible. Honestly, those are like the kind of marriage ceremonies you see. And now, yes, most people do have, like they say, they have a white wedding, which they mean white, like white people.
Mm-hmm.
Some Africans do still have a white wedding, but if they have their African wedding, they don't be thinking about that. They don't be thinking
No.
about us.
They're going through their traditions and what they do, what they're
Yeah.
accustomed to.
Like y'all just first of all, and I said this, I was watching a women's suffrage documentary probably a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason contracts came into marriage is because, and I never knew this, technically, when you wanted to divorce your husband, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Like you belonged to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that my stomach is growling. So if anybody hear my stomach growling,
No, I
that's what
can't
it
hear nothing,
is.
honestly.
Because I'm fasting right now, and um, we've been eating just fruits and
Oh,
vegetables, and
girl. Yeah, I
so
know them days.
and
Oh, yeah.
almonds like nuts, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Nutritious
stomach
stuff, but it
growling.
ain't fulfilling. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
but I'm
them
gonna tell y'all
days.
this. We'll talk about it too, but
Mm-hmm.
and also Apple, we gonna have to have a talk because I put my phone on do not disturb and it's ringing, and we need to get to the bottom of why it's doing that. Um,
These updates are trash. I'm sorry.
something's going on with that. I
Mm.
probably don't know how to work it because it doesn't look familiar to me. But I didn't know what I was doing. But
You probably hit the wrong thing. It's okay, girl. Because when you told me about it, I just said, okay, I'm just going to turn the ringer off because I didn't even feel like
yeah,
looking for
like
it.
I didn't know what to do. So the reason that contracts came into play was because when you left your husband, you didn't have no rights.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of women just sat in the marriages, got beat, got starved.
Mm-hmm. You didn't even have rights to your children. Like if
Yeah,
you
you
left,
didn't have any of
yeah.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where the contracts came into play. The
Mm-hmm.
women's suffrage women, like, and I think it was a little before the suffrage, they wanted women to be able to take their children because
Mm-hmm.
you could leave, but you could not take your kids.
Right.
So they wanted women to be able to get a divorce and legally take their children with them.
Mm-hmm.
So those contracts did not come into play because, oh, marriage is so honorable amongst God. No,
Right.
those contracts and that legal document and you going to the courthouse and all that stuff came into play. So when you were ready to leave, you had legal rights to your children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all need to stop jumping on everybody's bandwagon.
And
I just feel like the older I get, the sicker y'all I'm getting.
and this isn't just the Bible. This is just religion, period, and religious, context
Mhm,
and things like that. This is period because I've seen it in different religions. But study, don't just read.
mhm.
Study the word because there's a huge difference between just reading. Remember in White Men Can't Jump, Wesley
Read it.
Snipes' character said, "You're listening, but you're not hearing." It's the same
Mhm.
thing. It's two
Yeah,
totally different
yeah.
things. You have to actually study the word instead of just joining a church or just picking up a Bible and reading it. That's what we talk about, context. Read
Yeah.
in context because there are so many things like, why was this written? Or you can go to the Old Testament, to the New Testament, to the King James Version. Why was this changed? Why
You
was this?
know,
There's so many different things. You really have to put it all into perspective.
my grandmother always, when she gave me my Bible when I graduated from high school,
Mm-hmm.
I had a little key. It was still a King James Bible, but it was
Yeah.
like a kitty Bible. It was white,
Yeah.
a little zipper. So
Mm-hmm.
when I graduated, she gave me a Bible and she got my name engraved
I
on
got
it.
one. Yep. Uh-huh.
And in
My
the
aunt got
front
me
of
one.
it, she wrote, pray and ask the Lord for wisdom and understanding of his word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you the truth. Now I know people like, so I'm a nerd, and before I say this, your mama, okay? Um I read the easy to read version of the Bible one
mm-hmm.
summer.
Mm-hmm.
I was at my grandmother's house and I just was back in my bedroom and I just used to read the Bible like
Right.
just go through and it was an easy to read version. So it was like in language that you're like, oh, okay, I understand what they're saying.
Right.
And she made me go on a world tour of vacation Bible schools around
Mm-hmm.
the city.
Yes,
We had to
ma'am.
go to every one.
Yeah. I
So
remember those days.
then when I got that Bible from her, and she wrote that, and I read it, I've never had a problem understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really pray and ask, and you want to understand.
Right. That's the
You
thing.
know,
Thank you. Thank you for
because
saying
you're
that.
letting people
Mm-hmm.
shove stuff down your mouth. I'm gonna give you a clear example. I was in church one Sunday, and I don't know. I think I've told this story. I was in church one Sunday, and the pastor was preaching, and he told us to turn to a certain scripture. We all turned. He started telling the story, and it was not the story of the place that
Oh
he
yeah,
told us
you
to
told
turn.
me that. Yeah, yeah.
It started out like he was starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Then he jumped to a different story, but not jump to a different story like, oh yeah, because in Second Chronicles it tells the story of blah 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 blah. No, he thought the story that he was telling was in the scripture that he told us to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, I didn't go back.
Right. Because
Oh
didn't
my
you even say that, like, when, like, he even realized that he messed up, but he just kept going? Like, you could tell, like, he realized he messed up?
Let me tell you this. I don't know if he knew, but
Okay.
me and my ex-husband knew
Yeah,
because
that's who it
he
was. It was
looked
you. Yeah,
dead
you
at
said your
me.
ex-husband.
He
Yeah.
was sitting up in the front of the church, and I
Mm-hmm.
was sitting like I wasn't in the very back, but I was in the
Yeah.
back by the door.
Yeah.
He looked at me, I looked at him. He shook his head and just put his head down because he already
And y'all
knew
knew from
I
that
wasn't coming
moment.
back.
Yeah. That's who.
He
Yeah, you
knew.
said it was your ex-husband. That's right. Okay.
We
Yeah.
got home. He was like, I mean, it'd be one of those things where you just be like, now this done went too far.
Yeah, like you doing too much now. Like, come on now, bruh. Come on.
But I really do. I pray that black men and black women find their way back to each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, the FBI knew, like they said. I think I've heard Dr. Umar Johnson say it. The attack on the black family, because who funded Dr. King's movement?
Mm-hmm.
Middle class black people,
Mm-hmm.
black households, black husbands and wives,
Yeah.
black families funded that movement. And what's the biggest attack you see? And you can even say it, and some black people get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't just. I saw DJ Envy get offended with, was it Dr. Johnson?
I think
When
so.
it,
Yeah, they did get into it
and he
recently.
said,
Yeah.
so I'm supposed to tell my son that? He said, yes, you are, like, you are.
Yeah. Who else is
So you
going
think I'm
to?
gonna back away from that? Yes, you should
Oh.
be encouraging your son to. Now I know DJ Envy said he was black, but is he black? I didn't think he was
Yeah,
black.
he is. Yeah,
He got some black
he's just
hair.
light skinned. Yeah, he's just light skinned. Yeah, you know we coming all. Yeah, he is. And I used to think he was like Hispanic or something, but no, he's black. Yeah, both his parents are
Oh,
black.
oh, okay.
Yeah. And the only reason why I know is because I seen it personally because he went to Hampton. So there was an
Oh,
event at Hampton maybe about a few years ago, and he had both of his parents there. Like he was being honored for something, and
oh,
I think you might be able to YouTube it or something. Maybe I can't remember, but I saw it like on the Hampton
I'll take
feed.
your word for it.
Yeah, yeah, but both of his parents were there, and both of his parents are just light skinned black people. Just
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, like me, you see how high yellow I am. My mom is light skinned. She's a little
Yeah.
darker than me, but my dad is dark skinned. Well, not
Oh,
he's
okay.
brown skinned. He might be a little browner than you, and you wouldn't know
Oh,
that. You
okay.
would look at me and probably think either I'm mixed. Now I know in my heritage, yeah, there's a whole bunch of mixed up stuff going on. We had people in my family just from a couple generations ago, if that, that my great grandfather had a sister who passed for
Hmm.
white for years.
Oh, wow.
So that's yeah. So it's just like So it's just yeah. I mean, and the rest of my family, like I'm probably from the new generation. Well, my cousin Cameron, she's a little younger. She's younger than us, but we're probably the two most light skinned people in the family now.
Oh, yeah.
But both of our parents are black.
Yeah,
Both of
yeah. I've
Cameron's
seen
parents are
your
light
cousin
skinned.
Cameron. That's
Yeah.
the one that just graduated or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, but it's just like yeah, but he is. Yeah, I can vouch for that because I saw both of his parents. Yeah.
So, yeah, I just,
Girl.
I understand Megan is everybody's favorite. I will not speak against her, but once she told that first lie, I was like, well, this is for me.
But let me say this because when we talked about that, I was cracking up. And let me backtrack preface what we're talking about. Are you because I want to make sure I'm correct. Are you
Hmm.
talking about when she lied to Gail King?
Twice, yeah.
Okay. Why are you so offended of her lying to Gail King? Because
Because
somebody else said the same thing you did. That's why I'm asking. I just want to get your perspective.
And so I don't think it's like a level of offense
Mm-hmm.
because it's not just like with
Offended
her.
wasn't the right
And that's why
word.
I said,
Yeah,
and that's why I
that
said
wasn't the right word.
God is still doing a work in me because I have a problem when people do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know
I
what
get it.
really burned my biscuits
What's that?
is that and then again, because of women, for
Mm-hmm.
you to have real power,
Mm-hmm.
for you to think that you're going to get some kind of power over men and to be treated equal as men, since that's what y'all claim y'all want,
Right.
you've got to set yourself at a higher standard than them.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot set yourself at the same standard.
Yeah.
Or when you do the same things that they do, you want to pass, but you want to crucify them. Now,
Right.
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue I had. So it was probably less with her lying and
Mm-hmm.
more with people's reaction towards her lie.
Thank you. I'm glad
Y'all
you
were
read my
okay with
mind.
it. Y'all
Yeah.
were okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that really disturbed me. It goes, this is the Jada Pinkett syndrome.
Girl.
You were okay with that old woman, because
Mm-hmm.
she's old,
Yeah.
having a sexual relationship with that little boy.
Who, as we pointed out before, was her son's friend.
And you're the same women who were cheering for that, but now
Mm-hmm.
you're the same women who have a problem with Diddy dating Young Miami.
Right.
See, I don't, this is where I have an issue.
It's
It's
selective
probably,
outrage.
I can't function in that.
Mm-hmm. I
I
get
don't
it.
agree with it. It is some of the most asinine stuff I've ever seen. Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That is the part that really burns me up.
And see, I'm glad you broke it down that way because the person who I spoke to, he said he was offended that that Meghan lied to Gayle King from
Mhm,
the beginning about not messing around with Tory Lanez. That's what we're talking about
mhm,
for those who don't
mhm,
know. Um, because they did mess around. It was confirmed that they did mess around,
mhm.
and that's where a lot of his feelings and that little man syndrome came in because after a while she didn't want him.
And
So,
she lied twice about that. I want to be clear because it's
mhm.
some more shit that we putting Bill Clinton to the cross for too. Bill Clinton misspoke because he thought by saying I did not have sexual relations with that woman
Right.
that he was saying I didn't have sex with her,
Mm-hmm.
but some sexual activity did occur.
In his sexual relations.
Exactly.
It's
That's
wordplay.
what,
He did Bill
right.
Clinton did wordplay. He's a smart
Yeah.
man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I think yes, he thought by saying
Mm-hmm.
relations that
That
eliminated
people
physical
right.
intercourse. Like that's what he thought.
Right.
He didn't realize when you say you shouldn't have said I didn't have intercourse with that woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then that would have cleared that up. But
Immediately.
Gail knew. Gail caught on to the shit
Oh, Gail's old school.
because
She knew the
when
game.
Gail asked her the first time, she asked her, "Did you have sex with him?" She
Mm-hmm.
said no. And then Gail gave her the Bill Clinton question and said, "Did you have an intimate relationship?"
Mm-hmm.
She asked her twice.
Right.
She lied to Gail's face twice.
Yeah.
So this is my problem. Now you want us to believe that you're going to go to court. Wait a minute, you lied 3 times because you lied
Mm-hmm.
to the people at the hospital too.
Mm-hmm.
You lied to the nurses. You lied to the doctor.
And I'm just
And
trying
you
to
lied to
figure
the
out,
police.
and I think that people's perception of what happened, just period, would have changed if she would have just been upfront and honest from the beginning. And that's what some people
Cause
need to
you got
realize.
shot. Do you
Yeah.
still lie after you get shot?
Girl, what were you lying for? It's just like, and that's the part that really got me about the lying. It was just like, girl, you got shot. I mean, all protection is over now. You know who did it allegedly. Because I wasn't there, so I can't say that he did it. And there's been so many different stories and everything. So many people not testifying and everything. It's just been weird. It was a weird case, but you did not need to lie after that. It was just like you just tell her what it is. You had no reputation to protect. You the bad bitch. You the
Listen, to
stallion.
me, that whole thing right there,
Didn't that get thrown
that
out the
was
window though?
weird. And I heard a man say this the other day
Mm-hmm.
about who was he talking about? Larsa Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
How the way that she move and the way that she act and how
Girl.
I don't know, like I'm not familiar with what she's doing with men. The
Mm-hmm.
last dude I knew she was messing with was Future. So I don't know.
Oh no, girl, she's messing around with Michael Jordan's son.
Oh, that's right. I did hear people
Yeah,
say
that's the
that.
latest one because I forgot all about her, honestly. Because I didn't
So
really get
I
into Real Housewives of Miami. I knew who she was, of course, because of Scottie Pippen, but
right,
and all
right.
that drama. But yeah, no, she's messing around with, and they've been seen all over together. They're claiming, I don't know, maybe they are claiming each other
How old
now.
is he?
Girl, I don't even think he's 30 yet.
So
Don't
he
quote me, but
are we
he
talking
can't
about
be.
Jeffrey? Like Jeffrey Jordan?
I don't think it's Jeffrey. Let me see. I'm gonna look that up while you talking.
I
Go
gotta look
ahead.
it up. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know who it is. So he was talking about her and he was like, she's going to get hurt. He said someone is going to physically hurt her, and
She's
so it
48.
was Vlad. It was Vlad. He
Mm-hmm.
was. It was T.K. Kirkland. Is that his name? I think. And
Yeah.
Vlad were talking, and he said because she is a beautiful woman. He said, and some men have never been able to have a woman like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then when they finally get her and the games that she is playing with these men,
Mm-hmm.
somebody is going to, this is his words. He said, she's going to end up shot.
See.
He said, because you cannot play with people like that.
No.
You cannot do the stuff she is doing. And I would like to say the same thing for y'all's girl.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm
real
not
quick
saying
before
that
you get
the
into that,
activity was correct.
it's Marcus Jordan and he's 32.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not saying that the activity was correct. I'm not condoning the fact that he shot that girl. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what I'm
Yeah, and
saying.
that's what people
But
need to
see,
realize.
we were raised up with you lie down with dogs, you're gonna get fleas.
Mm-hmm.
We were raised in a way where we knew it's certain shit you didn't do to people because there were consequences
Right.
to your actions.
Mm-hmm.
And from what they testified, and from the stuff that people say, how aggressive she is, how she gets super aggressive when she get drunk, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes this just be people's wake up calls.
Right.
We
That's
all
true.
have had a wake up call where we was headed down a path of destruction.
And she's young too, and these aren't
Yeah,
excuses. This is just reality. She's out there. She's by herself pretty much. She has a group of people around her who probably condone what she did up to that point. I don't know if she's still like that, but what she did up to that point, so she didn't know any better. And that's not an excuse for her. I'm just
yeah,
saying,
because
like,
it
how
sounds like I'm not gonna give her a pass.
no, there's no past. No, I'm just saying, like, when you have, and this is any celebrity, when you have all these yes people around you, you don't grow.
How old is she?
Okay, I'll look that up.
Because I was gonna say, how young? What?
She's
She looks
young.
like she's 30.
She
How old is
looks
she?
like it, but I didn't want Meghan Markle. Hold on, child. That's a whole nother subject right there, girl. Megan not the Stallion, the Stallion, honey.
I can't.
Let's see. Oh, she's 27. So she was what, 25 when that happened, probably.
Girl, you ain't that
Cause
young.
she'll be 28 next month.
Oh yeah, you ain't that young, boo.
Right. She ain't that young, but let me say this. She doesn't her dad was killed. Her mom died. Her grandmother died. She doesn't have any other siblings. She was by that's the point I'm trying to make, and these aren't excuses. I'm just trying to speak in general of how celebrities, and this isn't just about her, but when you don't have, cuz even celebrities that have family and people who actually truly love them for who they are around them, they don't want to hear what they're trying to say. They just want to hear the yes people and condone what they do. And these people will do that because you're paying them. They're in your entourage and everything like that. So I just don't feel like the things that she was doing, not saying that she shouldn't have known better.
She should have known better
She
because
should have
we're
known
not
better.
talking about a person who lost their mother at the age of 2. Her mother was
Right.
alive when she started
But
rapping.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that she doesn't have anybody. Like when she got shot, she was calling for her mother.
Hmm.
And she wasn't
I
there.
mean, I
So that
get it,
just lets you
y'all,
know her
but
mentality. And it's not, and trust me, I like Megan. I'm not that big of a fan because
like
I
I said,
know,
I don't have a dog in the fight, so
right. And
I
it's,
don't like her. And I had to ask you, I didn't know what the fuck he did. I didn't know if he was a rapper, a singer, a comedian. I didn't have a clue. I knew he was at that Rock Nations brunch. So
girl,
do that make you a musician? I
and
didn't really know.
until I've heard his name before, but I didn't know what he did either until that happened. I did not know he was a rapper. I had no
Girl,
idea. I
I don't
heard the
know
name Tory
him.
Lanez before, but I had no idea what he did.
So, like I said, I don't care for it. Like, I don't have a like, oh, I'm on his side because I don't even know him. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not on either one of their
Yeah,
sides.
I'm not.
So,
I'm not
but
either. Yeah,
I
but I'm
just
just
like
trying
to stick
to.
with the facts,
Yeah.
and I don't really feel like in a factual manner
Mm-hmm.
that her behavior condoned. I'm, I mean, I probably am looked at as a hard ass because I just don't. Because I'm not just thinking about her as a celebrity. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking about if she was a normal person.
But we can't do that though.
No, no, no. Yes, we can. If it was a normal person on the
Mm-hmm.
streets and she was a regular 25-year-old girl,
Mm-hmm.
she would not have got the same pass that this girl is getting.
Oh, of course
They
not.
wouldn't have even pressed charges. They wouldn't have
No,
even took that shit to court.
of course
So
not.
she's already getting a pass, just she's getting more of a pass because she's a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. Of
Because the fact
course.
that she lied to the police and then lied on national TV,
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, they wouldn't have took this case no further.
Oh, of
I
course
was
not.
shocked when I heard it was in court. I kept seeing people post, and I was like, "They took wait a minute, that case went to trial. Like
Oh, as soon
it's
yeah,
a
as soon
real,
as
it's a
yeah,
real case."
as soon as two celebrities were involved, I knew it was going to try. I knew it was going to be something. I knew it immediately. I was like, because they that's what it feeds off of,
And I just feel like
and it's
she should have
sad.
been responsible enough to step up and say, "I don't want to pursue it."
Hmm.
I That's what I really
Well,
felt
I
like.
don't think that I think it wasn't her. It was the city of Los Angeles or wherever it happened. It wasn't her because she was done with it. I read that like she was done with
And
it.
then to put the icing on the cake, to hear her to hear her say, or whoever say, I think she said it, that her boyfriend was embarrassed to hear about her sexual
Oh no,
escapades.
I didn't hear about that. Girl, stop it. Both of y'all stop it.
Girl, he knew you was a listen. He knew you was throwing that thing when you met.
Listen,
That's why he with you.
that's why he's with you.
Please. And if anybody hears that noise, that's my canteen from Tabitha Brown. My water is in it. I'm sorry.
Come on, Tabitha. Canteen, yes, ma'am.
It's so
Child.
big.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like you said, and that's why we wanted to discuss this, even though it's been a while, whatever. But we were gone for a minute. But we
I
wanted
just
to
would like
discuss this
black
because of
men
men
and
and women.
black women.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
We have really got to, because what this situation did and why we tied it to this, it has caused a divide
Mm-hmm.
between black men and black women because you heard so many black men
Mm-hmm.
who were outraged at the fact that he, went to trial
Mm-hmm.
and going to have to now go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and who were bashing her, as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saw so many black women who, again, in my opinion, because like I'm really at a weird place because I'm not standing up for him. Like, you
Right.
ain't got no business shooting nobody because you get mad.
Exactly. Yeah, because you get
I ain't
mad.
really standing up for him, but
Right.
I just took issue with the lies
Mm-hmm. And that's
because
understandable.
you know, how do we know what to believe and not to believe? And
Mm-hmm.
I really took issue with this because it's something that I saw we talked about in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
How when there is like when people claim sexual harassment,
Right.
everything is subjective to how the woman feels.
Mm.
And how and that's not necessarily okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have been physically grabbed, like physically touched by a man.
Mm-hmm.
A man could just come to work every day and just say, "Hey, how are you?"
Right.
"Oh, hey," come to your office and talk to you. And
Mm-hmm.
now you're in HR saying, "Oh, he's making me feel uncomfortable." But
Right.
really, he's making you uncomfortable because you're not attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
If it was an attractive guy who you thought, "Oh God, I would date him,"
Oh
you
yeah.
wouldn't care if he spoke to you every day.
You'd want
You
him to
wouldn't
you
care.
go and speak to him.
Thank you. You wouldn't care if he came to your office. So
Mm-hmm.
see, in some situations, it's subjected to how the women, how do I take it? What's my perception of it? And that's
Mm-hmm.
not always fair. Like it's
No,
just
it's
not
not.
always fair. And I
No.
think as women, we have to hold ourselves to a standard of integrity when it comes to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and that's why I say again, she should have, first of all, just told the truth from the beginning.
Yeah. Because like we said, you were already shot, girl. So just speak your truth.
Yes, like, "Hey, look, we were in an altercation, we got into a little bit of a scuffle,
Mm-hmm.
and he shot me in the ankle."
That's all you needed to say.
And you coulda said, like, "I don't think he meant to do it, but, he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wanna pursue it, though. I don't wanna press charges." They woulda left that shit alone.
Right.
Now, they would have checked to see if he had the right to be carrying a firearm,
Yeah, and I think
so they
that's why
woulda
it ended
checked
up
all
going to
that basic
trial.
shit.
Yeah, because he's
They
not a
woulda
U.S.
checked that.
citizen too. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that I think that because she didn't want to pursue it. I will say that I did read
Yeah, she
that.
didn't wanna pursue it because she
Yeah.
didn't wanna have to tell the truth.
Right.
Let's not act like she didn't wanna pursue it because she wanted to save face or do the
Oh
right
yeah,
thing. It
no,
wasn't even
yeah.
about doing the right thing. She didn't want to pursue it because she didn't want everybody to hear what really happened.
Mm-hmm. Because if she didn't
And
care, she
actually,
wouldn't have lied.
and did everyone overlook, or did I make this up, that her friend was messing with Tory first,
Yeah.
and then Megan came behind her and
Mm-hmm.
started messing with the guy?
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all's homegirl would have did that to y'all, y'all have been calling her all kind of bitches and hoes.
Yeah.
But she did it, and it's cool. See, this
See,
is the
that's what
stuff
I'm
that I'm
talking about
like,
where I said celebrity does matter.
well, it matters because people give her a pass. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it should matter in the way that, oh, like, well, we got to remember she doesn't have a family or she doesn't have this.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if it was a 25-year-old black woman out on the street, they wouldn't give a shit if she didn't have a mama, a daddy,
Oh,
a
of
dog,
course
or a cat.
not. But we wouldn't know
They
her
would not care.
story. You know, that's the thing. It's like we wouldn't know the story, so you wouldn't feel that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they wouldn't
Like,
feel. And I feel
yeah.
like by us knowing this story and hearing
Mm-hmm.
all the shit that happened, we
Mm-hmm.
should be even more outraged.
Mm-hmm. I
But
get it.
but listen, this is how they are.
Oh yeah.
What that girl say? All you need is a nice person, a cute outfit, and you can tell anybody anything. Shit.
Basically. I mean, that's where we're at nowadays. I mean, seriously,
And
that's
her
where we're at.
outfits ain't even cute.
You know
Shit.
what?
Let my friend say them ain't nothing but wrestler suits she keep wearing.
She gotta have them knees going,
She
girl. She
said,
gotta
I'm
have them
tired of
knees
her
held
looking
up.
like a wrestler.
Child,
Them
listen.
damn one piece outfits. Why don't they put her in some regular clothes? Like, I don't understand that.
I never understood that either.
My best friend is 6'1",
Mm-hmm.
and she can wear clothes. Like, she can wear good shit.
Right.
She works at Chanel. She can wear Chanel. So
Right.
you're not about to get me to believe
That there ain't nothing
that
that can
at
fit her.
5'10" you can't put some clothes on.
Right.
Mm,
Girl, it's a lot. It's a lot. But
child,
you
that
know,
case was a lot.
it was a lot. And to me, the way I feel about it was unnecessary. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the situation we can't control, of course, you know, what happened, what he did, whatever. Nobody can control that. Of course, they couldn't even control it. He could, but they, you know. But the thing about it is, it did not need to go this far.
No. And it's a road in the commute. Like, it's like, as far as like black men and black women,
Mm-hmm.
it's putting a nasty taste, because then, you got black men saying, see, this
Mm-hmm.
how they treat us, see how they do, and
And let
she
me,
getting all that line. And
yeah, but let me
but,
say this about that because this is what I wanted to say before earlier. I
mhm,
had a problem not only with, and this is black men and black women, but older black
mhm,
men and black women speaking out against her. And not just
mhm.
her,
So
but
what
just
were
the
they
situation.
saying?
They were, like basically feeling bad for him. It
Mm,
wasn't like, like basically almost saying
you
like it
didn't
was
think there
her
was enough empathy for her.
right. And because and at the end of the day, I will say this, she's the one that was injured. Regardless of what happened, what led up to it, somebody was shot.
Mhm,
And it could have went worse. What if she would have got killed? What if that bullet would have ricocheted? It's just like you have to
mhm.
think about that. But the problem I have with the older generation, like even people our age and older,
Me, it's me, it's me.
no,
It's probably me.
not what you're saying. What
No,
I'm
because what you just said, it's me. It's me.
okay. I got what you're saying now.
Yeah.
But the younger generation is listening to that stuff, and nothing's going to
Mhm.
change.
And that's true. That's
And,
true.
because they're
Well,
like,
ain't
oh,
nothing
well, the
gonna
older
change.
cats say it, so it's like it is what it is.
Oh.
That's the problem I have. And maybe that's just because the influence that our generations ahead of us had on us. I
Mhm.
look at it like, and maybe they don't. Maybe those kids don't give a dang. Maybe the 20-some-year-olds, the teenagers, they don't give a dang. Obviously, they don't. So maybe I'm
It's
just
gonna
wasting my
definitely have to
breath.
be like a reset
Yeah,
because
yeah,
number one, people our age are not raising their kids worth a damn.
that's
And we
true.
just need to be honest about
That's
that.
true. That's very true. Yeah, yeah.
They not. They're not raising their
Mm-mm.
kids
They're
worth a
scared
damn.
of them.
They don't teach their kids to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes,
Uh-uh.
sir, no, sir. They don't teach their kids to do that. They don't
No.
teach their kids to hold the doors for people.
To thank people,
They don't tell their
nothing like.
kids stop being so damn loud in here.
They're
Like,
entitled.
you know,
I call it the entitlement generation. They have this
it's
sense
like
of
they
you're
don't say a
supposed to.
word to them. They don't say
Uh-uh.
nothing. Kids be running around the store and shit, flipping on the floor. Like, you don't
Yeah.
say a word to them.
Going to the mall to fight and everything. It's just like, who does that? I
Oh,
mean, at least we
child,
went to
it's just,
Josh's.
I mean, and then,
It was
and
outside.
it's something you said. You said that, um, the older generation were talking about, and say how they were talking about her saying what? Because it's me. Because when you said that, I was like, oh, me. That's how I think. That's
No, no, no.
how I think.
No, you're
No.
you're thinking about it more of perspective. I'm talking about the ones who were you have a reason. And I'm not just making an excuse
No,
for
but I
you.
don't feel any like. But what you said is true. Like I stand by my
Yeah.
opinions. I don't run away from them.
Right, and you
What you
shouldn't.
said is true. I
Yeah.
do feel like that. I don't feel like I
Cause you know
didn't
I side
show.
eye your ass if you stood away from your opinion. If I'd be like, no,
I don't
mm-mm.
feel like she was getting any empathy. She didn't get any from me.
Right. And
And
I'm
I
not
hear what
talking
you're
about
saying. Like,
yeah, I'm not talking about empathy for her. I'm talking about just like, feeling bad for him, jumping on him just immediately. Everything came down on him,
oh,
like how he should feel and, things like that. And, but then it came back to
mhm,
her, when, basically like because we even had to like in this show we had to say that she wasn't the one that pursued the charges or nothing like that. That was the
mhm,
city. But the way that you would think about it, you would think that she was the one, the way that people were talking. So it's just like a lot of stuff gets misconstrued and people don't listen to everything. People don't read, they just
mhm.
listen. And
Right. They just
so
look at a lot of like blogs and stuff.
right. So when you have these people who are older who are supposed to be, an example, which I'm probably just wasting my breath because, like I just said a few minutes ago, these younger kids don't give a damn. But, it's just like sometimes we just need to step back and just be like,
Mhm,
you can have an opinion, of course. I'm not saying don't have an opinion. We got opinions all
mhm.
fucking day. That's why we got a podcast.
Right.
But it's just like sometimes you just got to kind of sit back and realize what you're saying, especially someone like, and I'm not saying that because I didn't hear anything that they said, but somebody like, I'm pretty sure T.I. ran his mouth because he always got some shit to say, especially when it comes to men and women. Um, I mean, there were like a lot of older hip hop heads that were saying stuff. Not a lot of them, but quite a few,
Mhm.
who were saying stuff. And I just think that maybe they should have not said anything, in that way, basically, 50 Cent even, well, 50 Cent always going to say something,
Yeah.
but he was being funny, but still people are going to listen to that, and be like, well, 50 said
Mhm.
it, so it's
So
just
you're
like,
basically meaning like people repeating negative things about her.
exact. There you go. Yeah, and not just about
Oh, okay.
her, but just about things that happen because this younger, and this is just going on, not just about this case, not just about this situation, but I'm just talking about you got these people our age and older who are just out here just saying crazy stuff just to stay relevant and just to,
Mhm.
y-
And I
it's
would
just.
beg to say this. Well,
Mhm.
I guess sometimes people do say crazy stuff, but I don't always say maybe it's not crazy. It's just that's their opinion. Like that's just
Yeah,
what they
yeah, maybe
think.
I shouldn't have said crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's
It's
just
their opinion, but sometimes you got to think before you speak, especially when
before
you're
you speak.
speaking. Yeah, before you're speaking
Yes,
to a
especially when
group
you
of
have a
people.
platform.
That's my point. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
That's the word,
when
platform.
you are of a celebrity status,
Mhm.
you have to stay out of certain things.
Yeah, because you got somebody who's looking up to you. You may not think they're looking up to you. You may not care that they're looking up to you. And they're saying, "Oh, well, 50's making a joke about it. So, this is just a joke. This ain't nothing."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but some people do take that literally. The same way
Yeah.
people take video games literally. It's just like people aren't all there. So it's just like you got to watch what you say. And I just wish that,
Yeah.
and it goes back to what you were saying. What are we going to do to just be able to come together?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it comes to. Quit being this, against each other or, just saying something just because, you just feel like
Hmm.
you need to say something or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't. It's just.
It's definitely a trying situation as
It's
far as
such a
like black
divide that it's
men
just
and black
sad.
women.
Yeah. And I think that's just where my frustration comes from. I could give a damn. Like you said, honestly, I don't have a dog in this fight either. I could, could care
No.
less. I'm just glad nobody was seriously injured, regardless. I
Mhm.
mean, because, his little
I
ass,
mean, well, you don't want to ever see gun violence, period,
exactly. And
in any
especially over
situation.
something so trivial.
And I think they say, like, as a man, you don't want to make it seem like it's okay to pull a gun on a woman.
Right. Just
Things like
because you
that.
mad. Yeah. Just,
Yeah,
and
things
that's
like
what it
that.
came down to, just because you were mad.
Yeah. So I can
So
understand
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think that's just where my frustration with the whole thing came about. I could care
Right.
less. I think that if he did it, then yeah, he should have suffered the consequences, and that could have been
Yeah.
anybody. If Megan would have shot herself, she should have been. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just
Mhm.
like, it's crazy. It's just like it was a
Yeah.
sad situation, but when things like this happen, it opens up so many other wounds and so many
Yeah.
you just see a bigger picture of things and where people's mindset really are. I mean, there were people actually falling out over this stuff, people who were friends for years, and they're just like, but that's what happens. You see people's true intentions and how they really feel about things, I mean, so it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because you do get to see. I don't think friendships and stuff should fall out over something like that, because it had nothing to do with us. But you do see how people really feel about things when stuff
Yeah.
like this happens. And it's not just this situation, like I'm just talking in general. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, you guys,
Yes, ma'am.
we had a great show.
Yes, we did. As always. So we
You
want
all have an amazing week.
yes.
Do something nice for somebody. That's what the pastor said, like, while we're on this fast.
Mhm.
Yesterday, he was like, just because we're not eating certain stuff, like, try to buy somebody's lunch for them, or, like, do
Yeah.
something nice for somebody else
Pay it
while we're fasting.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over on the 18th, so,
Mhm.
um, but no, it's too much information. We'll talk about it later. Um, yeah,
Okay.
so you guys have an amazing week. You
Yes.
can always find us at girl_you know what on Instagram. You can look up DannieBSpeaks on Instagram, at Wellness and Women on Instagram, and you can go to all our perspective pages from there. We hope that you guys have an amazing, prosperous week. Be a blessing to somebody, and we will talk to you later.
Yes. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.